never, ever publish them. Jackie had asked her children time and time again, and repeated her plea some years later to her daughter Caroline on her wedding day. Suddenly, turning serious, she told her, never ever publish them. What was it she wanted to keep secret? A series of conversations recorded shortly after the assassination of her husband in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963. They are conversations about history and about her own personal history, including some very intimate secrets and controversial opinions. Since then, time has passed and life has carried on. Jackie pursued a brilliant career as an editor in New York until her death in May 1994. Until now, Caroline had kept the promise she made to her mother. But in 2011, a television network decided to make a fictional portrayal of the Kennedy saga. The series would reveal certain family secrets. In an attempt to stop the rumor mill and to avert controversy, Caroline decided to make public the 8 hours of interviews that the still distraught Jackie gave barely 4 months after her husband's death. The young widow was then 34, and she recounts the past like a novel about her dream life with her husband, John Kennedy. She cannot change the past, so she may as well rewrite it. Her confessions reveal the true personality of the former First Lady. Caroline was 7 years old when her father died. She remembers the weeks that followed the assassination in Dallas. Her distraught mother walled herself in silence. The insights she gave were interrupted by sighs. The words wouldn't come out.
1 minute, load!
Jackie talked of her solitude, providing small details of her existence. The end of a dream life. The American dream, which turned into a nightmare.
30 seconds!
She could still hear the incessant drumming from Jack's funeral. Jack. She always called him that in the interviews. Never John, not JFK, but Jack. That way their names are like twins. Jack and Jackie, united forever. The night of her funeral, her only thought was about knowing where she would sleep from then on. Even when everything else crumbles, life must go on. There has to be reference points, familiar places, security. Jackie left her home for the first time on December 3rd, 1963, 10 days after her husband's death. Clint Hill, her bodyguard, and the man who jumped onto the hood of the president's vehicle when the first shot rang out, was being decorated with the Medal of Honor. Hill had spent 3 years at her side, protecting and advising her. The only day he failed in his duty was in Dallas. The two of them felt adrift. She had lost her husband. Hill had not managed to keep him alive. Jackie said that Hill would have given his life for us. Three days later, on Friday, December 6th, Jackie left the White House and moved a few blocks away to Georgetown. Sometime before, she had invited the journalist Theodore White to the family estate at Hyannisport. She had chosen him as confidant to deliver her testimony of the assassination. She trusted him, so she chose him to deliver her testimony of the assassination. The journalist had always been sympathetic to the president. She didn't want anyone else to tell her story. She had an immense need to speak. She talked for 4 hours. Jackie relived the presidential trip to Dallas. She talked about her pink suit, a color she loved. Jack had asked her to wear it that day. She wore it all day, despite the bloodstains that soiled it, to show the world what the killing of the president had done to her. Just after the fatal shots, she climbed onto the hood of the car. It was neither an act of desertion nor dishonor, but a bid for life. There was nothing more she could do for Jack. With Theodore White, she talked about the assassination in a rather delirious manner. She talked about the beauty of the inside of Jack's skull, which she held in her hands, the concentric circles of its matter, with an iridescent layer of red.
Robert Kennedy. They are helping her.
One imagines this would be her leitmotif, a beautiful and perfectly formed head that did not deserve this fate. She also talked about the death of their son, Patrick, who died at birth that very summer, an event that brought them closer together. That day, she took the weeping Jack in her arms and told him, "The only thing I couldn't bear would be losing you." Theodore White's article, carefully edited by Jackie, appeared in Life magazine on December 6, 1963. It was here that she laid the foundations of the Kennedy myth, starting to build the legend of JFK, a man who died a hero, like King Arthur on the battlefield, sword in hand. The lady in pink was continually driven by a dual purpose, that of molding her own image while managing that of the president. But lost, crushed, the lady in pink was no more. In her place, a young woman in black was emerging, wondering what her future would hold. Bobby assumed Jack's place alongside her, and it was from his offices in the Department of Justice that Jackie thanked the American people for their help and support. She was enveloped, almost kept under surveillance, by her brothers-in-law, Bobby and Ted.
I want to take this opportunity to express my appreciation for the hundreds of thousands of messages which my children and I have received over the past few weeks. The knowledge of the affection in which my husband was held by all of you has sustained me, and the warmth of these tributes is something I shall...
Because the Kennedys had embarked on constructing a myth, a shrine to the glory of the assassinated hero.